Every morning I wake up and wonder, is life really worth living? Then I remember, tech news. Then I go back to sleep half the time. On Wednesday, we reported on the Department of Justice asking a federal judge to force Google to sell off Chrome as part of the DOJ's recommended remedies in its antitrust case against Google, whose dominance in internet search was ruled an illegal monopoly back in August. But the Chrome thing, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The DOJ's filing also proposes restricting Android from favoring Google search and banning deals to make Google the default option on various platforms. Those deals amount to $26 billion a year paid out to companies like Apple, but also Mozilla, meaning the move could hurt Firefox more than it hurts Google. But you know what they say, a rising iceberg eventually comes down and, batten down the hatches. In addition, the DOJ wants to force Google to uninvest the $2 billion it put into AI company Anthropic and provide its search index data to competitors for 10 years. Now, some are arguing that the DOJ is dreaming. For one, the case's judge, Amit Mehta, might not even accept this proposal. For two, it might seriously disrupt things like the existing market for Chromium-based browsers, which admittedly is kind of the whole idea.
No!
After taking a couple days to process their shock, Google finally published a response yesterday, calling the DOJ's proposal staggering, wildly overbroad, and part of a radical interventionist agenda that would harm Americans and break a range of Google products. I mean, Google can do that. In an example of how excruciating and horrible this would be, Google said the proposal, quote, would literally require us to install not one, but two separate choice screens before you could access Google search on a Pixel phone you bought. And the design of those choice screens would have to be approved by the technical committee. And that's just a small part of it. We wish we were making this up. Honestly, us too. I think that would, strangely, help this make more sense.
Not choice screens, which you already have elsewhere.
Microsoft is pushing full screen ads on Windows 10 that warn users that in less than a year, official support for what was originally called the last version of Windows is ending.
Hey, wait a second.
Yeah, you could pay $30 for another year of support, but here's an idea. Instead, you should probably start shopping for a new Windows 11 Copilot Plus PC. They're really cool.
They got AI.
Of course, this isn't the first time that Windows has pulled this stunt on multiple versions of Windows, but if you're mad, just consider Microsoft's argument here. Don't you want to try the new and improved, apparently more secure recall feature, which was just made available for Copilot Plus PCs and a new Windows Insider build? The data it collects is encrypted now and protected by Windows Hello, which they just forgot to do the first time. You could also be missing out on the just announced Click to Do, an AI feature supposedly similar to Google's Circle to Search, but incredibly, looks and sounds exactly like a right-click menu.
Which you normally click to.
Right is wrong, up is down, baby, it's AI! Despite recent reports, it seems like the AI bubble won't be bursting quite yet. Amazon just announced they're supplementing their existing $4 billion investment in Anthropic with another $4 billion, bringing the total to what I can only assume is an impressive amount, as I've outsourced most of my critical thinking to Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Then there's OpenAI, who is reportedly developing a web browser to capitalize on all the potential Chrome-related chaos, which would pair nicely with the ChatGPT search feature they launched this year. I can only hope the OpenAI staff working on the browser aren't the same ones who accidentally erased critical evidence that the New York Times legal team had spent 150 hours gathering as part of discovery in their copyright case against the AI giant. Yep, seems like the AI hype is holding and shifting solidly towards agents who can use your computer for you and learn everything about you in a 2-hour interview and then respond 85% as accurately as you on personality-based surveys, as demonstrated in a new paper by Stanford and Google DeepMind researchers.
I could have a friend.
I'll take 85%, O'Reilly. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang has an even more optimistic view of the future, predicting in an earnings call that just like we generate electricity, we're now going to be generating AI in AI factories that will be pumped through a series of tubes to provide a steady supply to the nearby town where the Tesla bots live. And they have leather jackets like me! But no AI was used to manufacture our sponsor, Vessi, who says their shoes are waterproof yet feel comfortable right out of the box, which is much better than plastic bags wrapped around your feet, let me tell you. And trust me again when I say that Vessi shoes are a godsend here in Vancouver, where the rain seems to still be holding a grudge against us all.
What do we do?
Right now, you can step into perfectly dry comfort with Vessi's Black Friday sale. Enjoy up to 40% off select waterproof styles at Vessi.com. Stay dry, save big, shop now before the best deals slip away. You know, my Vessis are slip-on. Now the quick bits. Those are worth staying awake for. They're special. There's something about them. 'Tis the season to be transparent with your customers. Valve have released a new policy, you're hoping I would say game, regarding the sale of season passes on Steam. The changes will mean that publishers must clearly communicate the contents of the DLC and when it will be ready for launch. For example, developers would have to say new weapons or 2 new weapons, which is the same granularity I tell my doctor about how much I smoke. Pizza or 2 pizzas. Mistakes do happen, so developers can delay the release of a season's pass just once by up to 3.
Roll past that pizza comment?
I don't get it.
We're gonna keep it in.
Developers can delay the release of a season's pass just once by up to 3 months, but any longer and Valve will give developers the suck. And by that, I mean they'll suck the money from the devs back into your pockets. And by that, I mean enforce refunds. We love to see a pro-consumer move, but it is funny seeing this policy come from a company that has never hit a deadline in their life.
2, 4, 5. There's no 3.
No 3s. Microsoft has announced Edge Game Assist, a Windows 11 feature in preview that adds an in-game browser to the game bar overlay, assisting gamers with their gaming and presumably edging. Edge Game Assist helps Game Bar catch up to a feature first launched for the Steam overlay back in 2011, but I guess this makes Game Bar more of an alternative for non-Steam games that you don't want to just add to Steam so you can use the Steam overlay. But also, the Steam overlay's browser doesn't have a game-aware new tab page that will detect what game you're playing and automatically start a search to find out why you're so bad at it.
Or automatically open up certain websites.
Edging. The US Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is now regulating big tech, not just big banks. The Bureau will be focusing on companies that handle over 50 million transactions per year and will have the same level of authority to supervise and regulate these payment systems as they do regular banks. The Bureau says that this rule will help to protect consumer privacy, guard against fraud, and prevent illegal account closures. This isn't to say that the CFPB could enforce these companies. Just last year, they fined Apple and Goldman Sachs $89 million for failing to take action on customer disputes, a whopping 0.002% of the value of those companies. But now they can slap wrists sooner. Regulations work. Too bad for you, they can't regulate me into coming up with a good joke for this story.
Oh, that's not.
All you out there excited for a new Pixel tablet, can I get a hell yeah? All right, well that is exactly why Google has canceled their upcoming Pixel Tablet 2, at least according to a source that leaked to Android Authority, who cited profitability concerns. The news emerged after reports that the search giant canned the Pixel Tablet 3, but those reports are apparently unsubstantiated. With Google's will they, won't they history with tablets, it remains unclear if this is the end of the line for their large format handheld ambitions, or just who knows. We can at least thank Google for killing this product before I started using it.
I mean, just to get it out of the way. It's gonna happen eventually.
And Adtech giant The Trade Desk has told Axios it's building a smart TV operating system because unlike other OS providers like Roku, Amazon, and Google, The Trade Desk doesn't own content. They don't care about giving users anything. They just want to collect data about your watching habits. It's much simpler.
Be honest.
The news highlights the reality that TVs are really all about data collection now, to the point where manufacturers are reportedly selling TV sets at a loss in favor of collecting ad revenue. After all, if the service is free, you're the person getting a good deal.
You're so lucky.
Living the best timeline. And if you want to stay on the best timeline, come back on Monday and we'll give you more tech news for free. Okay, we're not collecting your data. There's a middleman, so it's okay.
Except if you're on floatplane,
Okay.
then we're no. Your data is yours.